Okay, my friends from around the world, happy Thanksgiving, first of all, to everyone in the United States today. I know it's a very special day, Thanksgiving. I hope you're spending time with your family and enjoying the day. Now, I wanted to make sure I do a positive video today because it is Thanksgiving and most of my subscribers are in the US. So we're going to talk about something that's just come out today, which is actually some really good news. Finally, we're getting some good news. And look, I've worn my nicest white shirt today for Thanksgiving. My blue suede blazer, so I've pulled out all the stops today. I've even got my special pen for making notes today. So it is a special day here. So let's go over then and let's look at this article, this announcement that's come out of Texas. We're going to talk about Texas a little bit today then. Right, let's go over then to the first article. And this is out of the Attorney General's office of Texas. And you can see this has just come out then. Attorney General Ken Paxton sues BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard for illegally conspiring to manipulate energy markets, driving up the costs for consumers. Now, this is really good that this has come out because I've been talking about this for years as to what would happen with the ESG and this control that these companies had. And I was explaining how what they were doing was manipulating prices, wasn't really changing anything, but it was making them billions, hundreds of billions in profits, all at the expense of citizens. So it was under this whole guise of protecting the climate. But really all that was happening was all of the people's money, taxes, taxpayer money, was just being shifted to these big funds. And that's really all that was happening. We followed the data trail and the money trail, and that was really it. And some people didn't like that because they said, oh, Neil, you're anti climate and you're anti the environment. I actually love the environment. That's why I live on the island that I live on. I absolutely love the environment. I love the property I have and the land here, and I try to be a good custodian of it. Even though one of my trees came down just before I came back and just took out all of my lines. That's why I was streaming from, another place earlier in the week. But, I really love the environment. But does that mean, though, that I believe everything that is being said? No, because I'm a researcher and I look at the money. I follow the money, and I can see when there's a load of nonsense going on with these people making hundreds of billions. It's actually trillions now, all at the expense of us. They are basically just taking our money with all of these green taxes. And what are they really doing with it? I mean, drop in the comments, because I think you know the answer to this. So what is being said then? He's suing all of these companies. These are the three largest investors in the world, institutional investors, for what? Conspiring to artificially constrict the market for coal through anti-competitive trade practices. Over several years, the three asset managers acquired substantial stock holdings in every significant public held coal producer in the United States. Read that again. Every single significant publicly held coal producer in the United States. They created a monopoly, thereby gaining the power to control the policies of the coal companies. Using their combined influence over the coal market, the investment cartel collectively announced in 2021 their commitment to weaponize the shares to pressure the coal companies to accommodate green energy goals. Well, how can a coal company accommodate green energy goals? It's an oxymoron. To achieve this, the investment companies pushed to reduce coal output by more than half by 2030. So what did they do? They utilized the Climate Action 100 and the Net Zero Asset Managers Initiative to signal their mutual intent to reduce the output of thermal coal, which predictably increased the cost of electricity for Americans right across the United States. We talked about this. I know you left me a lot of comments on this saying that you'd been affected by it as well. These firms also deceived thousands of investors, and this is your pensions as well, who elected to invest in non-ESG funds to maximize their profits. Yet these funds pursued ESG strategies even though the defendants' representations were to the contrary. So they deliberately and artificially constricted the supply, increased prices, and enabled the investment companies to produce extraordinary revenue gains. This conspiracy violated multiple federal laws that prevent a large shareholder or group of shareholders from using their shares to lessen competition or engage in other anti-competitive schemes. Okay, so what does that mean then? Well, Texas will not tolerate the illegal weaponization of the financial industry. Thank you. Amen to that, Texas, in service of a destructive, politicized environmental agenda. BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street formed a cartel to rig the market, artificially reduce the supply, and raise prices. So this is illegal under state and federal law. So they are going to be going after them quite badly now. I think this is great that they are going to be suing them, taking this legal action. Please drop in the comments what you think. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Turkey Day. I hope you're enjoying it with your families. But I've got a couple of stories for you here on Turkey Day, because you know they're not going to leave you alone on Thanksgiving. I'm only going to show you one of these articles, but there was loads of these articles just filling my feed today about how irresponsible you are if you're eating turkey today. Yes, you terrible human beings for eating meat. Oh gosh, yes, this is what all of these articles are saying. Yes, God bless Texas, indeed. Yes. Let's have a look at the next one then. Well, firstly, before I talk about this unbelievable story, this is the cost of a Thanksgiving dinner then as of 2024, and we can see the changes here from 2019. A 16-pound turkey is up, look at that, 20%, $25. Rolls, 12 rolls, up to $4.16. Gosh, the prices in America are very, very high. This is a lot higher than the US, the UK, let me just add, and places in Europe. You guys are paying a lot for your food here. You really are. Come on, let's have a look at this crazy article then. This is out of Bloomberg. Here we go. Bloomberg. Gobbling meat is fueling a climate crisis. Here's how you can cut back. They put this out on Thanksgiving. Can you believe this? Just to make everyone feel guilty. Again, psychological mind games. Meat-centric diets are significantly contributing to global emissions, yet new data shows that some techniques to promote more sustainable eating are working. What are these, they say? As Americans dig into Thanksgiving dinner, the centerpiece on many tables will be roast turkey. Meat is really intimately tied with a lot of traditions and festivities. Yes, it is. Thank you, Mrs. Emma, for acknowledging this, and I'm sure people will appreciate that. And even outside belly-busting holiday meals, she says, meat eating has become excessive. Oh gosh, she has to go and ruin it, saying this has become excessive. Why? Come on, tell us. In the US, people often consume far more meat than dietary guidelines recommend. Let me just take a moment to mention dietary guidelines. When I was at school, I remember what did they call it? It wasn't it was a food pyramid, which then changed to this pie chart. And I remember one day saying to my teacher, Miss, why is pizza on here with the vegetables? And she said, pizza has vegetables on it. And I said, what? And she said, well, you can have a vegetable pizza, the tomato on the pizza, that's the base, that's vegetable, and that's why it's part of the vegetable group. I looked at her, I was thinking, is she really that stupid that she believes that, or does she think I'm that stupid that I believe it? I couldn't really tell. You can probably guess I was always in trouble at school for questioning anything that just made no logical sense whatsoever. The other one, on there was the tomato ketchup. You must remember this if you're similar age to me. Tomato ketchup was on the pyramid as a vegetable. Yes, it was. If you had 3 or 4 sachets a day, that counted as one of your 5 a day vegetables. I mean, you probably remember this stuff. Some of the things, fries, remember French fries? That's a potato. That's one of your 5 a day vegetables. So whenever I see this stuff from these experts talking about dietary guidelines, when they told me meat's bad for me, eggs are bad for me, all these other things, milk and dairy and things, all these things that people have been consuming for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and they try and I don't believe it. Don't buy into any of this nonsense. It's all part of this thing to get us just to all eat spinach, leaves of spinach. So what else are they saying then? Scientific data now overwhelmingly shows that eating meat is not only bad for your health, but also for the planet. And this is part of 1/3 of global greenhouse gas emissions. It's funny because transport was 70%, mining was 40%, this was 20%, that was 50%, and now this is 33%. Goodness me, these statisticians maybe need to go back to the basics because they're well over 100%. Some of the highest emission foods come from cows and other animals which roam across acres of land emitting methane. I know some other people that emit a lot of methane, a potent greenhouse gas during their unique digestion process. Compared to plant-based proteins, including beans and legumes, do you know how much methane they emit with a human? We won't go there. Beef is responsible for some 20 times more emissions per gram they talk about here. So you have to shift your diet away from meat. Yes, you are irresponsible if you don't. Goodness me. The things they are coming out with here. And this was the other one that made me laugh. They're saying that the reason people aren't going to plant-based diets is because of all these false claims that it can't provide enough protein, and that soy can feminize men. Where do you think the expression soy boy came from? Oh boy. So then they talk about this coalition that they've got now, which is a bit worrying. So this coalition is deliberately pushing these meals onto people and onto children, and they've already reduced by 23% the food here. Come first, chef's special, dish of the day, all psychological terms that they are using, and they say that this is very effective. Now, the other one that was funny was this one here. In the UK, meat consumption rates are already falling among certain groups due to people simply cutting their meal portion sizes. They don't have a clue. According to a recent study, the broader reasons for this shift in the UK are unclear. Really, they're unclear. I think they need to watch some of my videos, because what did we talk about last Wednesday's video is how people can't even afford food. The food banks are overrun in the UK. Something like 40% of children now go to school in the morning without breakfast because the parents either can't afford to give them a proper breakfast, or they've been sort of tricked into giving them this sugary cereal which burns off within an hour and the kid's hungry again, because they're not teaching anymore. Have your eggs in the morning, have some proteins in the morning, this will keep you going up until lunch, have some porridge oats or something. No, they push these sugary rice crispy type stuff, and in America I think it's your Lucky Charms and all that sort of stuff. Absolute junk. It's not going to do anything for the kids in the morning, but there it is. That's where we are right now. One other thing I was going to mention today then, and that is that I know sometimes I was reading some of the comments, people are saying, well, Thanksgiving, and I'm alone on Thanksgiving, and I know it's a positive day for some people and a sad day for other people. And I was just seeing some negative comments as well. People saying, "Oh, Neil, I want to do your finance courses and things like that, but I haven't got any money and I can't I can't do anything and things like that." I wanted to just share real quick. I'm not going to tell you my whole life story here, but I remember many, many years ago when I went to visit my wife's family for Thanksgiving. We spent, and this is when we were newly married, and they didn't have a clue the sort of hole that we were in at that time. We lived in the most dangerous, rough, crime-ridden, drugs, prostitution area you can imagine in Coventry. It was the worst area in the city where we lived, and we only had a very tiny flat there, or apartment you would call it. And that was what, 8 to 10 years ago, where I had a choice. I either continue on with my business, I invest into myself. When I didn't have any money, I had to do odd jobs. This was after the army, by the way. I thought I was going to come out and just be a massive success right away. It doesn't always happen like that. So I can sympathize with some of you. And I had the choice. Do I just go into going on the circuit? If you know what that means, it's where you become a military contractor. £500 a day back in the day. You earn a lot of money. It's very dangerous and risky, but that is all the jobs that I was offered. I was offered 5 or 6 of those right away as soon as I left. So I have been there. I know that this might resonate with some of you watching. I've been there myself, and I chose, no, I'll just keep moving forward. And me and my wife, we really struggled for those periods. And it was, when you have people asking over Thanksgiving, "Oh, how's things going? How's your business?" Oh, and you smile and you say, "Great, everything's going great. Thank you so much for asking." When really you're just dreading going home to that area. But if you just keep working on these things, and you, again, if you have no money at all, then don't take my programs. Do some simple things. Go to the library, borrow books. You can download PDFs online of some of the greatest minds that have ever lived. You can buy books for 50 cents at charity shops and thrift stores and stuff like that. But just start where you are and work your way forward. And that's all I've done over the last decade. I've just worked my way forward. Do you think I own all the things I own, all the companies I own, all the assets I own, being very successful at investing today, just out of luck? No, I didn't know anything. I had to learn all this for myself. And if I can do it, I think you can do it as well. And I want to leave you with a quick testimonial of a lady from Texas, Nancy. And what was the last thing? And you'll see in the description, this is the academy. You can learn all about it. But let me just leave you with this testimonial from Nancy here.
Hi, I'm Nancy. I'm in the United States, Texas to be more specific. Recently, I bought Neil's Rapid Cash Flow Blueprint system, and I'm super happy I did. There's so much there. It's even hard for me to pick out 1 or 2 things to talk about. Neil goes into this whole thing about control in a business, and the way he discusses it is beyond anything I had thought of before, and it's really given me a lot to think about. I actually own my own business right now, and I wish I'd had this blueprint before I even started, because I would have been successful more quickly, maybe even more successful than I am today. I'm using the course now to build out another business, and it's kind of going through the vetting process that Neil has laid out. I'm super excited about this course, and maybe you're on the fence and you're not sure it's right for you. Here's what I'm going to say. It's just do it. It's, to me, a no-brainer. I feel blessed, honestly, to be able to take this course, and I would wish you to feel the same kind of blessing I feel. And with that being said, I'm going to say take care, God bless, buy the course. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, ladies and gents, thank you so much for being online today. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. Take care. God bless you. God bless your family. And I will see you on the next video tomorrow, which will be a walk and talk. Bye for now.